Greetings friends, it's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush, and today I am doing a little Kansas sod house. You first print these little patterns. On my Etsy shop I have a link where you can get the pattern for a small fee, and you digitally download it and then print it on some heavyweight paper, 65, 80-pound cover stock, that would do it. And because this is just a simple little house with, nothing to it really, a little chimney and a roof, I thought it needed something more. So I also created, to go with this little house, a little covered wagon without the cover. You could create a little cover. So here's the pattern for the covered wagon. You have to create 2 sets of wheels and then, color them and glue them together so that the wheels are a little bit stronger. And I use toothpicks for my my axles. And you have to use an X-Acto knife to cut out between the spokes, of course. So this isn't an appropriate pattern for very young children. Kindergarten couldn't handle it without adult supervision and, of course, adult help. But I thought the little wagon turned out so wonderful, really darling. I just couldn't resist. So there's an awful lot to cut out with all those spokes, of course. So this part is going to take a little while. I colored these with Tombow pens, and I really like how those pens make a nice wood texture. But you could use anything. You could use colored pencils, you could use crayons, and then you cut it out and you use regular Elmer's glue to glue them all together. The barrel turned out to be a little too big for the covered wagon. So if you want the barrel, wonderful. If you want to leave it off, I went ahead and left it in the pattern, even though it's quite large. But back in those days, I think those barrels really were large to catch rainwater and stuff like that. It's even bigger than the house, so it makes sense if you don't want to bother trying it. A little bit complicated. As you see, I have to use my little paper clips here to hold it together while it's gluing. And you have to score all these lines, making a dent, a crease in the paper, or it won't fold very well. The paper is thick, and therefore it resists being folded unless you make a crease. So you glue the bottom down and the side first, then you fold the house roof. I made the edges curl under so that so it looks more thick, like a sod house. Here's the chimney. I put it together and stuck it on. And now for my wagon. You fold on the light lines and you cut on the heavy lines. Hopefully that's very self-explanatory if you've purchased the pattern and you want to put it all together. These little parts here, that's the seat that goes inside the wagon. You have to hold it for about 20 to 30 seconds for the glue to really bond. So this takes a little bit of time, the gluing part. There, you see I've got the wheelbarrow, or the barrel, all done. And now for the rings that go around the barrel. I thought that little gray ring really added to the illusion of a barrel. That's the seat. Comes in two parts, the back and the bottom part. So you just stick it into one side of your wagon. Then you have to curl up these sections. This is your axle that you'll glue underneath, and the toothpicks. So as you can see, I had to cut the toothpicks and then add a little bit of clay to the edge for my hubs, my hubcap. Because the barrel turned out to be so large, I rolled up some paper, colored it with my Tombow pins, and made little barrels that were small enough to fit into my wagon. That's the part that hooks onto the horses. I don't remember what it's called. The lead? Oh, no, I don't remember what it's called. But there you are, all finished, with little barrels inside. I made the rings on these little ones with the rolled up paper using fingernail polish, nail enamel. It worked. And I even cut the door so that it opened slightly and used a bead for the doorknob. There's some little rolled up paper barrels. It works. I thought it turned out ever so cute, but you can see how large the barrel is in the final product. I left it in. If anybody wants to make it, they certainly can. If you don't like the size of it, I totally understand. It turned out quite large. Thanks so much for watching. Do subscribe and come again. I've got lots more. Bye now.